Hello everyone, welcome to the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. This is a channel where we discuss all things around role-playing games, so if that's something you're interested in, love to have you hit that subscribe button. Little bit of news, I've finally finished my collection of the Starfinder books, at least the core rule books. So I now have everything that's been printed outside of the adventure paths and outside of any of the accessories. I don't have any of those yet. So that was just exciting for me. I also managed to get another little game from Paizo called Pathfinder, the second edition. So I have that manual now, and I am going through that weighty tome, beautiful tome. It is very, very pretty, but I'm going to be going through that and giving my take on that as well. And like I mentioned before, it is the second edition. I can finally start doing Pathfinder content. Bringing it back to Starfinder. Today, we're going to talk about the engineer role when it comes to starship combat. This role I feel is pretty easy to understand and pretty easy to also get a good grasp of what they're supposed to do. The engineer keeps your ship together, plain and simple. They provide extra power to your systems, they repair damaged systems, and they can even push some of those systems to their very limits. Please keep in mind you can have as many engineers on your ship as you have crew members for, but each engineering action can only be taken once per round. So if you have 3 engineers on your ship, they can each only do one action. So if you have 3 engineers on your ship, they can only do an engineering action once per round. That's not once per character, but that's each engineering action can only happen once per round. So you can't have 2 engineers do divert, for example. Speaking of divert, this particular action will allow your engineer to give a boost to your engine systems, your weapon systems, or any of your science equipment, your technology. Science and magic are basically the same, so some would say. And there is your stereotypical hold it together. This action makes your equipment function even if it was damaged. It doesn't repair it, but it allows you to use it to its maximum potential. There's lots of RP mechanics that you could work into here. By pushing a unit in your ship too far, you could potentially damage it further. Be careful with this as a game master, though, if this is something you're going to do. It's just something that I would think about, but don't use it to punish your players. And then there's patch. This allows you to treat a damaged system in your starship as if it was much less for a longer period of time. The way this kind of worked in one of our games, we had our engineer take a wrench and just jam it between 2 circuits to make a connection that we needed to have happen. He got electrocuted, but it worked. Something that's a little more risky and takes a little bit more skill to do would be your overpower action. This allows you to divert. This is basically the same thing as divert, except for the way I'm reading this, it goes to all 3 systems. And then your ultimate big fix as an engineer would be your quick fix. Unless your ship gets damaged again. These fixes aren't permanent, but they will last for about an hour. And unless your ship gets damaged again, or the system gets damaged again, this is good enough to get you by. At least until you can get to a real space dock and have it fixed by a real mechanic. This particular role isn't overly complicated, so I don't feel like this video needs to go super long to detail that all out for you. Next up, we'll be covering the science officer, so look forward to that. And then finally, we have the magic officer, and that's one from the character operations manual. I have reviewed the character operations manual. I will put that up here and in the description below so you can check that out. And also feel free to check out my other videos on other starship roles when it comes to starship combat. If you found today's video useful, love to have you hit that like button and that subscribe button as I produce content like this around Starfinder, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and hopefully, in the future, Pathfinder. My name's Nathaniel. You've been watching The Maple Table. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.